I think this is the future. People will need to do more.
All of it came through that LinkedIn network which I was building. But I never had the courage to be posting regularly because there is a perception if you're getting active on LinkedIn means you're looking for a new job.
Being yourself, I think things come to you. You don't need to fight for them.
It's more on the results that come out of it. I see a lot of professionals, they have very good knowledge, but they don't know how to present it. Most of the meetings I used to attend, I used to be the only woman in the room. So leader versus boss. Who are you and why are you like that?
It's the question I ask myself many times. If you like what you're doing, things will come automatically.
Automatically it will keep happening.
If companies don't acknowledge your value in them, change companies.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Bilna Sandeep show. My name is Bilna Sandeep. I'm a chartered surveyor and I run a marketing agency called Built Market Lab, which is a construction and real estate specialized marketing agency. I'm also a business development director at Maven Project Development Consultants, and I also run a women entrepreneurs networking platform called Homepreneurs Club. Welcome back to our show, and today we have an amazing construction leader on the show. Welcome on board, Nicky.
Thank you very much, Bilna. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know where that amazing construction professional is. I was looking for her or him in the room, but I didn't see them. Really pleasure to be here. I watched your podcasts, and I think the quality of your podcast has gone up quite a lot since you started. So well done. And even your titles, I'm thinking the future is having more than one job, not necessarily 8 to 5 or 9 to 5.
I think I went out from the box now.
I think this is the future. People will need to do more. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And would you like to introduce yourself, your career journey, and what brought you to Dubai from Romania, all the whole story?
Yeah, so a bit more about my professional journey, but I'll start first with education. I've done a civil engineering degree.
Nice.
Most of Europe do not have QS degrees.
Okay.
It's mainly
It's
UK
civil
and
engineering.
Ireland
Okay.
that have these. We do. So I did at that time 5 years.
Okay.
I couldn't break it down, so I ended up with a master's, not a bachelor's.
Oh, nice. So it's like a 5-year degree.
It was 5-year degree, and then
nice.
they changed it to 3+2.
Okay.
But I ended up getting a master's in civil engineering, and my specialty
Nice.
was structures. I worked for a contractor in Romania, and that was in specialist contracting,
Okay.
looking at the tendering side.
Okay.
So I was preparing quotations for different projects, looking at piles.
So you started from the estimation.
From the
that
estimation.
side.
Because
Okay.
again, I liked the idea. Again, if you bring me back in time to ask me, would you do another university or another field? I would say yes, because I still don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm only a quarter through the life because I want to live to 120. Maybe not with my lifestyle, but I'll try.
But I like your honesty around it. Like, you are open to new careers and new side of things,
the thing is,
right?
I still don't know what I want to do. And I think in a way, I'm fascinated by that because
nice.
usually when people know what they want, I don't find that... I don't want to put a bad word there, but I had colleagues in uni or in high school who just wanted to be doctors, and some of them are really good doctors today.
Okay.
They love what they do. But for me, having this option to go at any point, anywhere, with anything I want to do, I think it's a bit different for me. That's how I like things.
Probably that's why you are like every day learning something. You're very open to learning and absorbing new things, right?
I do like to
Nice.
learn new stuff. Again, we were talking earlier. I don't like to get into reading hundreds of pages because my mind just doesn't work like that. I'm going to read and I'll fix the typos, but I'll not remember anything from the book.
So you're more like a short form content.
Short form, yeah.
Quick
I
knowledge,
think what
like
you
micro
do with
content.
your posts usually on LinkedIn and even the snippets from your podcast, I think that's more than enough.
Those
for
are
me.
the short forms of consuming knowledge.
Short and sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Coming back to your journey. So, like, how long in Dubai and what brought you to Dubai?
Well, yeah, let me continue. So I started with a contractor, then I moved to a consultant in Romania. It was an Irish consultant who just started business there, trying to build the first large-scale shopping mall in Bucharest, in the capital.
Oh, nice.
Halfway through that, the recession started, and the office in Romania basically shut down.
And the project closed down.
The project went on pause, like most of the projects during that time, and the Irish company asked me if I want to move to Dublin with them.
Okay.
And being young and not so, I'm still not intelligent, but at that time I was worse. I bought an expensive car. It was like a race car. So I was paying quite a lot to the bank for that car. And I said, I don't have an option. I need to move to Ireland.
Okay.
And my idea at all time was, I don't need to move somewhere. I can do whatever I want to do in my home country.
Okay.
But anyway, I moved to Ireland. I stayed about 5 years. That's also where I got married.
Nice.
My wife is Romanian as well, but she joined me in Ireland.
Oh, nice.
And then from Ireland, I got this offer to work in Qatar on the FIFA World Cup stadia.
Okay, so that's how you came to the Middle East.
Yeah, that was my first step into the Middle East. I stayed in Qatar for about 3.5 years, and then I moved to Dubai. Again, consultancy in Qatar. I was with Gleeds. Then I moved to a division of KEO that does quantity surveying here in Dubai.
Nice.
And I was looking after the Dubai office under a really not so young but very talented gentleman called Clive de Villiers. And then from Sequest, I moved to Aldar. I've done a number of projects with them, and I moved to Aldar. I used to commute every day. Well, during the pandemic,
to Abu
it
Dhabi.
was better. Yeah. Luckily, I'm on the Dubai Marina side, so it's not
but the pandemic
too far.
Was not so easy time to commute.
It was tough, but they allowed us to work from home, and I think this is a trend now to. In the company that I'm in now in Omnium, we get unlimited work from home, which is amazing.
I think that's something a lot of employees look forward to nowadays.
Yeah,
right?
I think so too.
It's the future of work now.
Hopefully, yeah. If you ask people, managers, some of them say no, your productivity at home is lower.
Yeah.
But I remember during the pandemic, we used to get more stuff done because people would not come to you and say, "Can I ask you a question?"
So there was no unnecessary talking around.
Yeah,
you were all like just doing business, the kind of thing at that time. Okay.
True.
Okay, nice. And then right now you are in Omnium.
Yeah, and then I returned from Abu Dhabi. I left Aldar and I joined Consultancy again. I'm with Omnium since a little over 2 years now.
Nice.
My main project is in Saudi. Is a super meaningful project. Maybe we'll talk about it today. But
I'll be asking you about that as well today.
Cool.
Nice. So now moving to, like you told me about the whole journey. I have this habit of digging around people on LinkedIn, especially when they are guests on the show. So I saw your first experience as an RJ. What was that about? You started as an RJ in a radio station?
Yeah. I was a radio
Was it
DJ,
your college time?
That was during my, we call it high school. So it's like grade 9 to 12.
Nice.
So during that time, I just liked to talk. And I was playing on the microphone at home, and I always wanted to be in a radio station.
Very nice.
And I thought that was amazing because it learned me how to talk better.
Nice.
It got me better. I got to the point where I was doing jingles and commercials for to be put on air.
Wow.
So that was an exciting time.
I think I see you as a keynote speaker on a lot of events in construction. So, has that initial days speaking as a profession impacted you as a leader overall?
I'd say all the experiences impacted me, but usually when I'm a keynote speaker, I just pay people, get me as a keynote speaker. It's all organized. I'm messing, but I think everything helps, and going outside of your comfort zone, that's what matters the most. Yeah.
Amazing. And since we spoke about LinkedIn as well, not everybody is very active on LinkedIn, especially from our profession in construction. And the reason I noticed you was because I used to always come across your post on LinkedIn. I think it was 2 years back. I reached out to you, then we connected. So all of it, and I love the way you write on LinkedIn. You have a lot of perspectives on leadership, team building, and amazing aspects. So what's your take on it? Like, what's your goal from LinkedIn?
Well, I don't have an end goal as such. I think it's more about maybe helping some people.
Nice.
with my experiences and what I've been through, and during my time with Aldar in particular, they put a lot of training into us.
Okay.
And it was mainly around soft skills and around making teams better and getting them to perform better. And I think you know some of the people I worked with, and I think they're happy with the way I work, because again, we're all a team. I don't like hierarchies. I don't like to say I'm here and I have people under me or people above me.
You're very open. You have that open door policy.
I'm very open, and I think that's what I love about Omnium as well, because I can walk into the chairman's office, the MD's office, any board of directors.
Everyone has built that culture in the company.
Yeah, we're like a family, but now it's grown a bit, so we don't get to interact as much every day, but it's very open.
Oh, that's nice. Now, for me, it's been 4 years. I've quit my job and been like on my own, working on my own projects and things like that. So before that, I used to like network on LinkedIn a lot. Like I reach out to people, I talk to people, I make friends through LinkedIn, all this, like more on the professional side. And even all the jobs which I had, like be it Arab Tech, be it .go, all of it came through that LinkedIn network which I was building. But I never had the courage to be posting regularly, because nobody told me I shouldn't do it, but I always had that feeling, oh, will I get judged, or will I, or there is a perception if you're getting active on LinkedIn means you're looking for a new job on the professional side. So this is what a lot of my friends tell me, we are scared to post. So what is your take on that?
Well, my take on it is, again, I'm on different social media, and LinkedIn is generally not about me. It's maybe about some other people in the industry who may look at what I do and get inspired, same way I look at other people and get inspired. Nice. And again, it doesn't need to be Simon Sinek or anything like that. It needs to be authentic, and it needs to
be raw and real.
That's it. And I learned from so many people, from people who just enter the profession, from people who I meet when rarely I collect my daughter from school, for example. So I learn from everyone, and I think being able to connect with different people even outside of your profession is very important.
Nice. Now, like, what would be your advice to the professionals in the construction industry who want to actually get active on LinkedIn? Like, what kind of topics are the best to speak about, on LinkedIn for their professional growth?
Well, I think it depends on what you like, because if someone is very technical and very detail-oriented, and if they're, I don't know, engineers or QSs or project managers, maybe they find a niche or some competencies to talk about.
Which is their expertise probably, right?
Well, not necessarily their expertise, but by the time you start talking and researching about it, then it will become your expertise.
Yeah.
But my idea is, don't start with any expectation.
Okay.
And it's the same with jobs, it's the same with relationships. You don't need to go into a meeting or into an event, here's my CV.
Yes.
But you build things gradually. And I think most of the time with my articles on LinkedIn, they're not about me.
Yes.
And some people, I was told that people sometimes like them. If I had an option, I would deactivate the like button. Seriously. I like to get hundreds of likes. I have about over 20,000 connections.
Yes.
Some of them would be people who try to sell me stuff. Sometimes I have a backlog of unread messages
to reply to.
But whatever you do in life, I think you should not expect anything. But as long as you do it rightly, you're authentic, and you don't have any other agenda than just being yourself, I think things come to you. You don't need to fight for them.
Amazing. Now, I will also come back to some of the topics you used to speak on LinkedIn, a lot about the team management. One of the recent articles I think you wrote was about, the career growth. At some point, it's not just about the salary hike. Companies have started also giving equity for the employees.
Yeah.
And it's a modern trend happening in a lot of companies. So what's your take about that?
Again, maybe we'll talk a little later about people moving from the UAE or Qatar to Saudi and so on. I think it depends where you are in your life, and it's not about the age, it's about the experiences that you had, and about whether you have a family or not, or maybe you're in a partnership. But I think companies are trying to get people to stick with them a bit longer.
Nice.
And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're trying to give them access to equity.
Yes,
in
so
a way
that they stay back longer.
not only that, but they're also pushing a bit harder, because if you just assume I'm going to work 8 to 6 every day, and at 6 o'clock I'm breaking the door, I'm out, and then I don't care, it's not the right approach. And usually clients, especially in this region, they're quite demanding, but they also appreciate when you go the extra mile.
It's more on the results that come out of it.
It is, but it depends on the company. Some companies want you there 8 to 6. They want you to punch in and out. They have biometrics, facial recognition. Some others, you say, get your stuff done, then go to the spa or on the beach. It's up to you.
And I think the equity-based system can even make it better, because you do well, if the company does well, it comes back to you also.
Yeah. Right? I think another thing that I didn't write about there, and again, I'm honest about everything I say, is some people are reluctant to invest in companies, even if they've been with them for a number of years, because they say, what if I get the next big opportunity hits
and I'm stuck here
and I'm a little stuck here? I think, even if you're stuck somewhere, there's no such a thing as getting stuck anywhere, because you can exit at any time and people will get your shares. Even if you donate them, it doesn't really matter. But I think it's, again, the reason you see all these posts on LinkedIn is because I planned them. So I have posts for the next 6 weeks. And I do 2 a week. I do usually a Monday and a
batch
Friday.
Creation.
Yeah, I schedule them because I'm never, sometimes I forget about stuff. So I schedule them, I think currently 7:30 a.m. UAE time.
Oh, nice.
When they go online, and it's on a Monday, beginning of the week, and on a Friday. And I try to talk about things that are current, but again, it's not me waking up to and saying I need to send this. No, it's all planned. So
very nice.
Otherwise, I would panic. I like to think that my time management skills are very good, and this is a question that I got asked before joining the boards with the RICS here. How do you find the time? And I don't know how, but I always find time for stuff.
I think so. You have a very efficient calendar management system. You have properly, you have a proper system in which you manage. Do you want to share more about it?
I also have this app. It's called Family Wall, where I put family stuff, work stuff, and when I get them done, I just delete those items.
Very nice. It's like a phone app?
Yeah, it's a phone app. It's a free app. I like free apps, by the way. I don't like to pay for stuff. If it's a freebie, I'm for it. But I think most of the QSs are like that.
I think we are so used to managing the cost of the projects, it comes naturally to us.
Yeah.
Very nice. And now we spoke about the leadership styles, right? So leader versus boss. Who are you and why are you like that?
I would just say that I'm a human being.
Oh, nice.
And, leader or boss, those are things that are
nice.
They don't last long. And for me, maybe it's false modesty, maybe it's false ego, I don't know, but I don't like the idea of boss. Whenever someone calls me boss, I just say, please call me by name, and then they start Mr. Nicky, and no, just the name, please. And I think here the beauty of living in the Middle East is that it's very rich culturally, and people from different cultures. Yeah, it's. I think it was the same in my country. We used to say Mr. or Madam and Sir, but I think when I moved to Ireland, actually, that was the eye opener for me. It was everybody was called by name, and even one of my colleagues in this company, it was called Bruchon. Now they rebranded recently to Linesight. And he was calling his father by name, and I thought, this is so cool. This is in other countries, this is disrespectful. You don't do that.
Yeah. Even in our country, we come from India.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah,
you have to have that hierarchy of even at work or home. That's what we were taught.
I know. But again, looking at you and your podcast, I think you're super open-minded, and I'm the same. I like to think, and I always say, forget everything that you were taught and think what's okay to do.
I think that's an amazing takeaway. And now coming back to you mentioned about your RICS role as well, right?
Yes.
As an advisory board. So a lot of professionals, we don't know what to expect from RICS. We know we have got the titles. What next? Right? And we're paying every year. What is the expectation we can have from a body like RICS?
Well, It's a question I ask myself many times, and maybe we'll talk about other professional bodies as well, because I supported quite a few things over the last 10 years or so. My main idea in joining these two boards, one is called the UAE Regional Advisory Board, that only looks at the UAE.
Okay.
And the other one is more regional. It's called World Regional Board for Middle East and Africa. And I had some dimensions I wanted to focus on. One was the member engagement and the value they get from the institution, because there's so many good professionals out there that can do talks. And by the way, thank you very much for accepting to talk at one of our events last year.
Thanks for inviting me that day.
It was really good. People loved it. And again, you're authentic. People liked that you told them your story.
Yes.
And this is what it's all about. It's not about data, percentages. Right? No, it's about what you've done and telling stories, inspiring people. Nice. Storytelling is one of the skills that people should get more into. It started with, what do I get back? I pay quite a lot.
Yes.
The membership of the RICS is maybe among the more expensive ones.
Yes.
But I like to think that in the last few years, after some issues with RICS in the UK and some problems that we usually advocate against, and we're all about ethics and other stuff. But we crossed that bridge. We're in a much better place now, and I think it's going in the right direction.
Nice.
There's a group of enthusiasts who are in this UAE board. I'm just talking about UAE first. And now we're about to recruit a few more. Oh, nice. We had some interviews in the last few weeks, and I think they're all very passionate. They want to get the message out there to say, this is what you get for being a member. Nice. And it's, again, there's also reasons that go beyond getting MRICS or some other charterships, which are important in the region, get you to the right jobs. Because some people, rightly or wrongly, maybe wrongly more, recruiters in particular, they say, if you're not chartered, I'm not going to look at your CV.
Yeah.
And I say, but there's so many chartered people who are not that great, if you ask me. I've seen them in meetings and they don't perform very well.
And there are also people who are not chartered and who have
they do amazing.
Huge, amazing lot of experience
But I think the idea of becoming a member of an institution is not only to receive things. Okay, how many CPDs are they doing this year? What other matrix events, networking events they're doing? It's also about giving back. And that's the whole idea.
Yes.
The institute took you under their wing. Now it's time for you to give back as well, and maybe inspire the next generations. Another subject or subjects, some other subjects I'm passionate about include sustainability. There's a lot of greenwashing out there. But also diversity and inclusion, without being too pushy about it, because the discussion we have in the company is we should not talk about DEI. This should be embedded. It's something that is valid all around the world. So the UAE board looks mainly after UAE events, UAE members, and how we get them to
come together. Right.
Also that, and also to give back to the community. We have a number of industry events, and we usually partner, the RICS partners with these different, if you look at ITP or Big Project or Middle East Consultant, all of these institutions, they do events, the Big Five as well, the MG events. And we try to send our best members to speak at those events.
On those events.
Again, sharing their knowledge, inspiring the next generations.
Nice. And I think there's a lack of awareness on our industry on how important it is to be together as a community as well. Like when you come together as an RICS, it brings together. Like not everybody is open to come out as well. Even when you give CPD events, like how many of them are actually coming after the work? They're like, oh, should I go? You know how like that importance of networking. Do you want to talk about that? How important is actually networking for the professionals?
Well, I think networking is essential. It's not important for today. It's important for the future. And I think the connections I made over the years when I went to, let's say, CPDs, I started back in Qatar more aggressively, but I used to go to universities as well in Ireland to do courses to teach students on how to measure on measurement software like Costex.
Oh, nice.
Because I was an early adopter. I think 2009 in Ireland we started Costex, and then it was so popular that we were asked to go to universities and present it to QS professionals or future professionals. But I think networking, again, it doesn't need to be only QSs or only engineers. Meet everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've done a number of courses on innovation, and a good one from INSEAD. It was saying try to meet people outside of your circle, because you learn a lot from IT or from, I don't know, even from agriculture or other things that are
I completely agree on this, because until I quit my career, I was only going for industry events or CPD events, and I was always meeting the construction industry. And then after I quit and I started on so many other things, oh my God, the level of things you learn from so many industries, you absorb a lot of things and you get to implement a lot on your life as a person. You change. Right, like every story teaches you something. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's something that you do to, you grow with it. You know, you get some ideas, you don't think they're stuck in your head. But once you're exposed to a situation, you remember, oh, I met that person who told me.
Yes. That's the whole idea. Like I see a lot, especially like business owners, they are very used to going for networking because they're more, again, they need to meet people to do the growing their business. But professionals, I mean, I see most of them like, okay, after work, I don't want to go for another event, or weekends, no, I can't. And the only time I see them come out and go start networking is when they're looking at changing their jobs. I mean, isn't that the wrong approach?
But it doesn't work like that. That's the problem. It's like when you look for something and you don't find it when you need it. You find it 2 or 3 days later when you actually don't need it anymore. No, this is something you need to grow and to
It's
nurture.
A relationship that you need to build over the years. It's not like a one day thing. Oh, I give you my CV, you hire me. That's not how it works.
It's not transactional. It's over years to come.
Exactly.
And some other thing I just thought about, and because I like to be very honest, being part of RICS APC assessments, people ask me, why do you do them? And I say, well, I go through experiences, I learn a lot, and then I get to meet people and I learn a lot.
From their case studies and their experience.
And also from the interviews. And I don't interact much with them because I'm now chairperson for interviews, and I ask questions more about ethics, and I make sure that the candidates are calm and relaxed and they do their best on the day. And I had many people who thanked me for the way that the panels I've done together with other assessors went, even if they were referred, because they recognized
like they were not nervous or anything. You made sure everybody were calm. And
we're not rushing them. So I think the standards, again, vary depending on the panel, but we're trying to, as RICS, we're trying to make it uniform. But what I meant to say is I see a lot of good people there, and I recommend them to our HR and say,
very nice.
Look, I met this person. They're going to be chartered soon. Do you wanna get in touch with them?
Nice.
So once it's all official and they're chartered, they can approach them and say, because I think as QS is something I saw many people struggling with is client facing, to go in front of a client, to be confident about it. And that's why things like the radio job that I had, or going to these presentations and CPDs and keynotes, they help you. They get you better and better. I don't know if you mentioned at some point that public speaking is the second most fearful thing after death.
Yes.
So it is something.
True. A lot of people go through that, right? Like probably in your case, that radio jockey experience gave you a lot of starting point. At that time you didn't have those pressures, so it just came, right? But like you said, I see a lot of professionals, they have very good knowledge, in-depth knowledge, but they don't know how to present it to the client, or so it's really important that there should be some activities to increase the communication skills as well. This is what I believe in. Now going back to the RICS again, we have different titles. MRICS, then we have CIOB, AIQS, and so many other institutions.
Yeah.
And there is always a confusion among a lot of professionals, like which all do I take? Do I have to have all of it? Or, what's your take on that?
Well, I went through it, so I'll tell you my story because I was, let's tick this box, let's tick another box. I think the first membership I got was from the CIRB.
Okay.
And I started this construction law module program with Robert Godden in Scotland. And my target was just to do 1 year to get not membership, but fellowship.
Oh, okay.
So after the first few modules, you just get membership automatically. You pay a fee and then you become MCIR. And then if you want to get the fellowship, you need to have another module called arbitral award writing. You write an arbitration award. And again, it's an exam setting. You're in British Council or something like that. You're not allowed with your phone, with anything. You just have some materials that you need to respond to.
Okay.
And after that, if you get above 80% also in that one, you end up in an interview with one or more construction professionals. I had my interview in Qatar with a lawyer in Doha. And it was more like a chat. They asked me if I knew about the institution and so on. So eventually they said, yeah, you're good. You're going to be a fellow soon. I said, okay, thank you. What's next? So then I jumped on to CIOB. I had a very good friend in Leeds who is retired now. His name is Ali. He's a QS. He's from Jordan. And he helped me with my CIOB. So I became MCIOB. And then I wanted to give back to the community and to the CIOB. And I joined the Doha hub.
Okay.
And then when I moved from Doha to here, I joined the Dubai hub and I helped even the UK. I was business development board member in the UK for the CIOB. So we've done quite a lot of work in the same idea.
You did a lot of activities from
let's engage more members. Let's give them the value they want. They're paying a fee. Let's make it nicer. If assessments are only coming back with a 2-pager, which is more or less repeat, let's do it better. So I've done the CIOB, then I got fellow of the CIOB as well because I supported and I gave back. Then with the RICS, I've done a QS degree in Doha with a Sri Lankan institution who was doing courses for London South Bank University in Doha. So I got that degree just in time before my APC assessment.
Oh, okay.
That was successful. My line manager at the time said, don't go, you're not ready. And I said, well, I think I'm ready. And I like to go outside of my comfort zone and to risk sometimes. And I say, I think I'm ready. Look, even if I'm referred, I'm going to learn from that experience. And that time, there were no recordings. You were going into a room. It was a bit scary.
And it was in person. It was
in person. But luckily, the chairperson at the time, it was someone from Faithful and Gould. I think now they're with WSP. That gentleman was so nice, and I learned from him. Again, we didn't interact much. Before, I didn't know him. And after that, we just connected on LinkedIn. But during that 1 hour, it was so intense and I learned so much from him.
Did you clear it on the first go?
Yeah, I got it. I got it, yeah.
So it was worth the try, right?
It was,
it was. I think it's all about going out of that comfort zone.
And one strong no. But the 2 yeses won.
Nice.
So then I also looked into an institution called Quantity Surveyors International. I became a member and then a fellow of it. Same with the Chartered Management, what was it? CMI, Chartered Management Institute in the UK. It was for managers. So I ticked all these boxes. And then it said one
point your name was too long on the business card.
I don't use them.
You just take it, but you never use them.
And this is what people ask me. Why don't you put on your LinkedIn that you're FRICS? I say, well, it's not how I am. I just want my name.
You just want to keep it like that.
With me. And by the way, Nicky is not my passport name. It's called Nicolae in Romanian. So it's a bit shorter. My brother couldn't pronounce Nicolae when we were young. So he said Nicky. He's 2 years older. And since then, I'm staying as Nicky. But I don't like titles because titles can come and go.
Yes.
And coming back to your question, at one point, I think after we had our daughter, I thought about it. And at some point, we were paying about 10,000 dirhams in fees.
For all of them together.
For all of them, yeah. And I thought, this is a bit too much. Can I do something else with the money? And I'll keep supporting other institutions.
Yes.
But the one I considered most useful was the RICS. So I stuck to the RICS, and that's the only membership I'm paying every year.
Nice.
And in Omnium, the company pays for it.
Nice.
It's paid by the company, but I kind of closed the other ones. I said I was a member from that date to that date, so I'm done. But if anyone needs help, I helped a friend recently get his MCIOB. He's a chartered construction manager now from this week. And I still help people to get better
achieve those,
to achieve those things.
all of them. Nice.
AIQS, again, it's very linked to the RICS. And my view is, I don't know, I never say never, but I'm not keen to go and work in Australia. And as long as you have RICS, I think it's very universal, it's very strong. If I was in Australia, maybe AIQS would have been stronger, I don't know. But I like to remain global. People ask me, where will you be in 20 years? Usual interview questions. Where do you see yourself?
Yeah.
Myself and my family would think we're going to be here because we like it. Super safe. It's super clean. It's just
very
nice
hard to leave
here.
this place once you come into Dubai.
Many people left. I have friends who left to Australia. They came back. There's another one that I worked with in KEO. He just came back and joined Parsons recently. So I think when you get used to the
convenience and good life,
everything is just so easy here.
Nice.
And I think it's RICS sticked with me, and I sticked with them to the point that I'm trying to get the community here to be more vibrant. And it's not only about QSing; it's also about valuers, about building surveyors, project managers.
There's a lot of pathways. Right?
There's many. Nice. But I think you noticed when you presented on that CPD, the vibe you get from the people. And it's like, I don't want this to end. I want to stay longer.
Everybody wanted to stay back because, and again, there was quite a bit of a break during the COVID. And now it is that actually people wanted to, come back. And it was nice to see a lot of, for me also, it was great to see a lot of people from the past, which we used to interact a lot before. And there was no connection after that. So I think that's a great thing that we are doing right now, bringing more of in-person events where people get to meet and actually interact, so the whole community is growing, which is a good part.
Well, that's it, interaction. I think we're starting to miss that. During the pandemic, we were completely deprived of it. But I think now with all these new things, working from home, and I actually like going to the office. I focus better there. I have a big screen.
When you have that, nice.
But when you stay with your headphones all day, it's just not, you don't interact as much. And this morning I had a post coming back to LinkedIn about loneliness. And employee loneliness is a big thing. And it's forecasted to go to very low rates, as in people will become more and more lonely. Unless companies or professional bodies like the RICS, CIOB,
take some action
and others
to bring those group activities together.
Absolutely,
right? Nice. And again, I wanted to ask you also about women in construction. So when I left 4 years back, right, until then it was more like we had, most of the meetings I used to attend, I used to be the only woman in the room.
A superstar.
And especially as you climb up the ladder, you see the less people going, right? Like maybe as a junior QS, I had more colleagues as women, but whenever we are going to the next levels, I saw that it was very less, the ratio. Has it changed over the last 4 years? And why do you think, is it that women are not coming forward to it, or are they not given the opportunity?
I think it's a mix of both, and I think the industry is still not necessarily against women that much, but it's pro men. And I think most of the companies, they're usually managed by people with gray hair, and usually most of them are men. And if you look at the UAE, which I think sets a good example, they made companies, private joint stock companies, to have at least one woman in the board.
Nice.
And that's what happened in Aldar when I was there, and I was part of their diversity and inclusion board. I think things are changing now. That mandate will extend to other companies as well.
Very nice.
And I think it's my problem is the engineering. I don't think it's a very appealing profession to women. But maybe things will change in the future. And also, if you start with the idea that I'm a woman, my place is here, not here.
I think it has to first change from our own mindset.
Well, it's not our, because people are different.
Yes.
And I've seen people in companies who say there was a gentleman in Ireland and they were reaching their retirement age.
Okay.
And they were senior QS. And I was a senior QS more or less at the beginning of my career. And I asked them, what's the plan? Are you going to go higher? No, I'm very happy as I am. I'm performing very well.
Nice.
People are happy with what I do. And I prefer to focus the rest of my time on other things, on life, on cycling, on
other
swimming,
areas.
other things. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
There's no right or wrong. Again, it's just what people like. And that's what I want people to say. I love this profession, or
Yes.
I don't like this profession. I qualified in it, but I want to move.
Yes.
And that's why I appreciate what you've done. And I think
Thank
people
you.
should look at you as a model, saying things can change at any point in time.
It's
Tomorrow,
okay to
I want
change.
to be a singer. If I have a good voice, I'll be a singer.
True that. I think we have gone quite a bit overboard the time, but I will ask you two more questions.
Yes.
One is on Saudi versus Dubai. A lot of professionals have now moved to Saudi. Some are also coming back. What should they expect? Because I know you are also going a lot of time to Saudi, and you mentioned about your Saudi project as well.
Yeah, I think it depends again where you are in your life, what you want to do. There's people I met, I just came back yesterday again from Saudi, and there's people I meet there who say, I came here with a clear task to be here for 2 years to pay for my mortgage back home or
Yes.
mortgage in UAE or whatnot. There's other people who go there saying, I wanna have a family here. I want to
Nice.
connect to the locals, because again, we don't get to mingle too much with Emiratis or Saudis.
Yes.
But when you work on public projects, you do get actually to meet
Yes,
them, and
okay.
they're good people.
Nice.
You know, there's different stereotyping in the industry saying they don't work, they just get money, but it's not like that.
It's not like that,
I had
yes.
colleagues even in Aldar who were not getting, they were getting paid as the other people for their
Very
role.
nice.
So it's not like they're special.
Very good.
But going to Saudi or going to UAE, I think it's a personal decision.
It has to be
there's no right or
based on
wrong.
your life choices, right?
And again,
what
you don't
want.
like it, you come back.
There's always
no
the option to
problem.
come back.
Of course, we'll go elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I liked from the whole session today was one thing that stayed common is staying open to opportunities, staying open to whatever is coming your way. I think without any stereotyping, without any stigma, like just go for it. Right?
Well, that's it. And this is what you've done and what I
Yes.
like to do. I'm not afraid of stuff. When
Yes.
people will say, who wants to come to the stage to say something? Most of us will do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm going there and I'll say something stupid, but I
Yeah, I
will say
know.
it.
That's nice. And to find up the session today, the last question, what's your advice to especially quantity surveying professionals? How do they go to the next levels in their careers, and how can they actually reach really good leadership positions?
Well, you don't need to reach leadership or to be a boss to be happy.
Nice.
So for me, the main thing is think what you need to be
Nice.
happy first. Money comes and goes. It doesn't matter too much.
Nice.
But focus on what you like, because if you like what you're doing, things will come automatically.
Automatically, it will keep happening.
And if companies don't acknowledge your value in them, change companies.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for the show today. And to all our listeners, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to know more details about Nicky, we will also be leaving the details in the description below about Nicky more, so you can connect with him on LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much, Nicky, for being on our show today.
Thank you very much, Bilna.
Thank you.